Alright, part 2. Now we're looking at this page with the solo. Start with the solo. But let's look at the rhythm first. So, alright, so again, these are in parentheses. So that should not have a underline under 1 because that has been tied from the previous bar. However, on 3, you're supposed to slide down on count 3, so even though it's in parentheses, it does make sense to have the third count underlined. Let's see. So with that being said, you have this chord right here in parentheses, but you didn't underline count number 2, even though there is a slide there. So, sticking with consistency here, if you're going to be counting the beat where you're sliding, that would need to be underlined then. And just the same thing down here at the bottom. So if you're going to count the chords that slide during the slide part, then that too would also need to be underlined there, but that's really the same rhythm as up above. So that's it there. I mean, again, most of it's correct. Okay. Goodness. So, looking at this, you put an and 1 here. If it was an and 1, that would be, the and would be on the other side of the bar. You can't have an and 1 starting a bar. It just doesn't work that way. Every bar has to start with count number 1. Has to. It can never be anything else. So what happened, I understand why you put it there, but again, like we mentioned earlier, that tiny little note there is a grace note, so the bend happens on count 1. And then it says that you're doing a gradual bend, so it's saying that the half step happens immediately, and then over the course of 2 beats, on count number 3, that's when the bend should be at a full step. And then it's saying the gradual release here. So yes, by the time you get to count 1, that is correct. You should be all the way back down, and then quick dive at the bar on the upbeat there. That is correct for that count. So this looks really confusing. So here, that open G string, it is, you start the bend on count, or not the bend, but the whammy bar dive on count 1. 2 should not be underlined because you're not playing anything on 2. You're still doing the gradual descend. It stops on count 3, so that's good. There's no triplet involved here. So again, it looks like it has like a couple grace notes. So basically what you're supposed to do is you on all the way down to count 3, and then count 4, you basically have it up on count 4 where you start the vibrato with the bar. So because you're doing the vibrato with the bar, counts 1 and 2 should not be underlined because you're not playing a new note. This note here is tied from that note. So let's see. Again, you wrote, that's a rest note right there on count number 3. So on count number 3, it's supposed to pause, so you underline count 3 as if you're playing, so that should not be underlined. That part's right. So this is close here, but on count number 3, you have another grace note. So that is supposed to be played on count number 3. Both of those, that is supposed to be like a super fast hammer on from 5 to 6, as if it was on the same beat. So the count would need to be 1 and 2E and 3 and a 4E. So again, that is 1 and 2E and 3 and a 4E. Once more. 1 and 2E and 3 and a 4E. And that brings us to the next bit. So the email with both video links should have some scanned pages for you to look at. Let's probably just do maybe two or three. We'll see. Let's look how complicated they are right now. Well, I guess you'll see what I decide. It's going to be 2 or 3. So this is quite a lot of information on just a video. So hopefully it all makes sense. Let me open your email again real quick and make sure I answered the questions. Yes, I know the bend was one thing. Let's see. No emphasis on the bent note at the beginning and okay. I see what you mean. Yes, well, even still, like you're saying, emphasis on the bent note at the beginning or the end of the bend. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. Because again, when I hear emphasis, is that, so I don't know what that, emphasis at the beginning of the bend to me says like, is it supposed to be louder, or at the end of the bend it's supposed to be louder? So that's, again, that's what I think of when you say, or anyone says, emphasis. Because you're emphasizing that one part. So that's something I'd like you to, if you can, clarify when you come back what you mean by emphasizing a specific part of the bend. Yeah, other than that, I think that covers everything. So if you have questions, definitely you can email me, or we can wait till next week. Again, there's a lot of stuff we went over there. Hopefully everything looked okay on the camera. But I'll plan on seeing you in a week.